So one of the key things which I'm keen to ask is almost, so you are business owners. How do you do your own promotion?
So we love to appear on other people's podcasts and live streams and platforms and things like that. I think one of the lessons that we learned very early on is that you have to do what you're good at. So when we first started the business, Kennedy and I said, right, we need to have a blog because businesses have a blog. And so I'll write it this week and then you write next week and then I'll write it this week and then you write it next week. We'll vaguely brainstorm the topics.
And you know what? I loved it on the weeks that Rob was writing the blog. And Rob loved it the weeks that I was writing the blog. That's how that went down.
You could tell whose week it was just by the general mood of the two of us. And eventually we got to the end of it and we thought, we're not awful writers, but we're definitely not good at it either. Like, we're not professional writers. We said, why are we doing this? So we're big fans of doing what you're good at. That's why we have the podcast, the Email Marketing Show, because we like to talk. I don't know if we're good at it, but we like to talk. We like to present. So I said, so that's why we've gone down that route. So I think we do that with all forms of promotion. We said, right, well, in that case, the unfair advantage, I think everyone has to look for their unfair advantage. The unfair advantage that Kennedy and I undeniably have is that we've spent 18 years performing for thousands of people regularly doing a show. And so I think we have to use that opportunity. So anywhere where we can be as our personal brand of Rob and Kennedy, the email marketing heroes, is good. So we love to be inside other people's platforms, doing trainings for people's membership programs and coaching programs and that kind of thing. Obviously our podcast, appearing on other people's podcasts, and all of that we generally talk about. Come and join out, hang out. We've got a free Facebook group people can come and hang out in. And so a lot of our promotion actually just works through that, and it quite organically those people then become more interested and start inquiring about, well, how can I work with you and what happens next? And that sort of leads the way, really. I think the secret to anything is be really good at what you're good at and do it.
Because I think I noticed, I think it was a tweet. And is it a joint Twitter account as well? I was going to allocate it to one of you, but it's a joint one. And it was to do with, I think there was 5 or 6 different Twitter hours each week. I think it was 1 on Tuesday, 2 on Wednesday, 3 on Thursday, I think. And it was just kind of, obviously Twitter's a big thing for you. But like, out of interest, who is your target customer? Who's your kind of target demographic?
Yeah. So the people we help the most are people who have what you might think of as personal brands, or who are taking expertise and packaging that into something. So we have people who have developed training programs, online courses, masterminds, memberships, coaching programs, those kind of things. So it's people who've got usually quite a small team. So even though we've got some clients, so for a sponsor, for example, who are doing, who have a large profit and large turnover in the high tens of millions, but their team's probably 6 people.
Wow.
So yeah, which is great. And this is an American client of ours, but in general, it's people who are selling or promoting their expertise and packaging that in some way, because our approach to doing email is really about sharing pieces of you and sharing stories that people can identify with. Now, big brands do use our techniques. We know they do. But we tend to resonate more and have a lot more strategies and tend to have attracted a lot more personal brands. Although we do have some e-commerce people in there as well. You always have some peripheral people who are absolutely killing it as well. It's really interesting, actually. When we're in our Facebook group, which if anybody's thinking what is it, we named it. We're very clever at names. We've got a podcast called the Email Marketing Show. What should we call our Facebook group? We'll call it the Email Marketing Show Community. Let's call it that. We're really very, very original on names. So when we're in the group, we see people and who are engaged with all of our content, and we're like, okay, what are they doing? And it does tend to be, I would say 70% is that sort of personal brand, expert industry. And then you've got 30% of everything else.
So you, obviously Twitter's massively important to you as well. Like, do you ever pick up the phone and do old school sales approaches as well, or no?
No, not good at it, don't like it, so we stopped doing it.
Now, this sort of brings me on to this point that Rob and I were having we had our strategy day. Every Wednesday is our strategy day. And we were talking yesterday about actually email marketing is the wrong word. It's gone so far away from what it used to be. You think of marketing as that marketing element, but actually the proper word for what we do is email sales, because every email we send So every single day, we email 365 days a year.
Mhm.
Every single day, we send an email which has a fun, interesting, funny story, which has a moral and interesting thing you can learn from it. And then in 100% of those emails, almost 100, I would say 99% of those emails, there's also a sales offer, a call to action, a direct, come and join our program, The League. Go and buy our list building, how to build your email list program, whatever. So actually what we do is email sales, not email marketing, but we have to call it email marketing. Otherwise people don't know what it is.
No, it makes sense. Because one of the part of the reason why we met, which is actually quite interesting, is that, so I'm a chartered mechanical engineer. If I swiveled my camera around, you'd see my certificates. But it was almost the tech sector and that kind of thing is completely new to me. Like, I didn't know anyone the first time I went to Tusspark. And I try and find the balance between seeing people in person, but then likewise, in the same way that you did, most of my competitors are white male and stale, if you put it that way. So most of them are white males, probably 50 or 60, who would hate the idea of live streaming. They hate social media. They don't like talking about stuff. As where I'm 20 years younger, I don't mind talking. I like talking to people and I like my tech. So why not? I do this because I enjoy it. So I really kind of appreciate what you're doing. And then it's almost funny that what I've been trying to figure out is how you apply this to different sectors, if that makes sense. So my kind of target customer are business owners, independent in the Northeast, kind of 1 to 7 million turnover, SME, generally that actually makes stuff. Because actually that's the problems that I know how to fix better than most people. And I was trying to figure out how does this fit? But actually it still does, because although you might have a higher unit value of a sale, it's how you maintain the relationships with lots of different people. So I was trying to think through how you could apply this to different customers and more kind of my background, but I do kind of still